Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. Another episode going into news and prophecy, linking the things happening worldwide to biblical prophecy to show, all right, the believers, of course, that the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai are faithful and true, that you be comforted and forewarned, also to condemn this current world, all right, as Moses and Aaron did in Egypt, speaking the plagues into existence, all right, in preparation for our deliverance, all right, and exodus out of this second Egypt, which we were brought to for the purpose of captivity. The final captivity, according to Bible prophecy, all right, would be through Esau, Edom, who would rule this modern day Egypt, as well as the beast system, all right, which fulfills the rebirth, all right, of ancient Rome. All right, and as you can see here, all right, pretty much everything is happening. Everything's right on time. The plagues are here. Hard times are right ahead of us. We're in the midst of the hard times, and the world leaders are ruling, all right, on bringing those solutions that are going to be synonymous, all right, with these plagues, all right, which a lot of them will be brought on by them, all right, but it's still through the spirit and power of the Most High God, Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, all right, and pretty soon they'll find out that they don't have control, as they believe they are the Most High God. And you see this article here, 12 nightmarish economic trends that we should expect to see during the second half of 2022. All right, the first half so far has been filled with all manner of plagues. Okay, everything that the prophets foretold in the Holy Scriptures and everything the apostles and prophets have been saying here, starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, through the Spirit, they're here, okay? And basically, those who were called conspiracy theorists, okay, are pretty much everything that they've been saying is coming to pass, all right? And the people are without excuse, all right? In particular, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you've been warned, all right? And the plagues and everything that's coming are set for the wicked of our people as well as these heathen. All right, so we'll get into this article. But before that, you know, there's a lot happening around the world. All right, here in Shanghai, you can see, okay, there was a blood red sky. Okay, as you can see the title, Blood Red Sky. Okay, blanket city near Shanghai, sparking Armageddon fear. All right, the video shows terrified children crying as they look up to see the red sky covering the city. All right, but experts explain it's not a sign of bad omen. All right, and we know, according to prophecy, there's going to be signs. Give me 1 second here. There's going to be signs in the there's going to be sign in the skies, okay, that are going to be associated and synonymous with the end of this place. All right, as a matter of fact, we can get here in the book of Luke real quick. Okay, Luke. Okay, and this is all synonymous with what? The time of the Gentiles being ended, which we know the final Gentile rulership would be Babylon the Great, all right, along with this beast system, all right, as well as these other elite heathen nations, all right, who are in league with them. Okay, but ultimately it's the biblical Edomite. As we know, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, so what is the time of the Gentiles synonymous with? Luke 21 and 25, the return of Yahushai. Okay, which all of these signs that you see happening on the earth, that's what they're pointing to. Okay, so that's why we, as Yahushua said, in this world we would have tribulation, but be of good cheer. He's overcome this world. and it's already prophesied and foreordained for a remnant, all right, to be covered and delivered. All right, even those of us who have to suffer loss, all right, even of these lives, or if it's our sacrifice to go back up to the spiritual realm, because there's really no such thing as death. If we had to ultimately play the part of a martyr, there's a victory in that. We have to understand death. All right, we must understand all of these things for comfort. All right, to push us through and to remain faithful. If you don't have comfort, all right, and if you don't really trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the things that come onto the earth are going to cause you to compromise and bow the knee, and you're going to be in even worse case. As the scriptures say in 2nd Ezra 7, the righteous are going to suffer straight things, but hope for the wide. The wicked of our people are going to suffer the straight things, and they're not going to have any hope for the wide. So the straight things are coming. There's no way around them. All right, as Yahweh Shai himself, when he had to go through his sacrifice, he asked the Most High, is there any other way? And the Most High didn't answer. Okay, so as it says in 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, okay, our way back to immortality is set in a very dangerous place, likened to a straight, and narrow path with fire on one side and water on the other. And that's ultimately what we're entering into, all right, as we get on our way up out of here. Now, let's get this in Luke 21 and 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. Okay, and we see signs in the sun, the moon, the stars. We see eclipses. You have the chariots being talked about. Okay, all manner of the particular kind of moons. We've seen that. I'm trying to think of constellations and various different things that are happening, which the things that happen in the heavens, okay, dealing with the moon as well, all right, have a lot to do with what's happening on the earth. As a matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Sirach, the 43rd chapter. I believe that's the chapter. Okay. Sirach 43. Let's see here. Verse 6, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. Okay, so like the moon is like a clock. All right, and it's a time, and for signs of the world, it says, for the moon is the sign of feast, which moon means month. All right, week means changing. The apostles and elders in their latest outside speaking went into that. So make sure you check that out. Apostles Live 34th, I believe it says, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name, moon, month, increasing wonderfully in her changing, all right, because you have the waxing and the waning moon. It says, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. So it's an instrument of the armies above. Okay, so the things that happen in the heavens have a lot to do and dictate with what's going on in our earth. And one of the things we pray for right here real quick in Sirach, the 36th chapter, okay, just get to the point. Verse 6, it says, show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we want new signs and more strange wonders. All right, because we know that those signs and wonders are synonymous with the Lord's return, that they may set forth thy wondrous works, raise up indignation, pour out wrath. Okay, take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. So that's what the Lord is doing. He's pouring out wrath. Now, according to prophecy, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the world. Okay, woe to the inhabitants of the world, because the devil is getting ready to come down on you with great wrath. And according to Psalms, the 17th chapter, that's his sword. So the Lord is getting ready to let this man loose. This is what they're meeting at that World Economic Forum for. Okay, you think they're meeting to figure out how to help you in the future? No, they're meeting, all right, to hurry up and forward their NWO, because they see these signs. Okay. The king of Babylon have heard the report. Okay. And his hands have waxed feeble. That's Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. As a woman in travail, they're in straits. Okay. So rise up indignation, pour out wrath, take away the adversary, and destroy the enemy. All right. When they're meeting and the things you see them meeting about, the things that they allow to be released to the public, that's not the end all be all of what they're meeting about. All right. But that's another lesson for another time. It says, make the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. And see, we're calling for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to remember the covenant. See, and meanwhile, you have the heathen try to take away the covenant and do everything in their power to keep us, all right, from being connected to our power, man. All right, so let's read this again in Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of the nations, which is what that article we're going to go into was going into. It's getting ready to be distress of the nations. We're seeing distress of the nations. All right. When you look up the word distress, okay, distress of the nations is what? Sun okay. All right. Holding together or narrowing, the straight things. Okay. Straits, distress, anguish, and we're entering into the straight gate. All right. So straits, all right, it's synonymous with hard times on the earth, the stress of the nation, straight things coming to the earth with perplexity, okay, which will show you that deals with lack of resources. May as well just go into it real quick. It's always good to go into words. All right. Go to the root word. I think I looked up the wrong word. Perplexity is what I'm looking up. There we go. Aporia, the state of one who was in perplexity. And then you go into this, all right, the root word, to be without resources. Okay, and we see the resources are being shortened, and it's all by design. All right, so that they can bring their solution. To be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn, which is why wisdom and knowledge, all right, is going to be the stability of our times. All right, because looking at this thing in the flesh, there's how in the hell are we going to win? All right, even looking at the Blackout series, all right, being in those situations, like, what are you going to do? All right, it's going to be wisdom and knowledge that's going to have you stable, and ultimately Yahweh Bashim Yahushua are going to bring those great wonders, man. Okay? It says the sea and the waves roaring, you know, these crazy weather patterns, these storms, men's heart failing them for fear and looking after those things which are coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And that's the leadership. Now, when you look at this article, blood red sky blankets, city near Shanghai, sparking Armageddon fear. All right. See that? In other parts of the earth, water, the particular rivers are turning red. All right, and then some scientist always pops up. Well, this is nothing new. This happened, there and there. But hey, at the end of the day, who made it happen? Okay, all of these things are happening through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, and we know China as well. All right, will be used to fulfill a lot of biblical prophecy, man. Okay, and this happened on May 7th. Okay. So big things are come, all right? Big things are come, like Benjamin says, all right? Big things are coming. We don't have to read too much into that. That's self-explanatory, all right? So going back to this article, all right, and what is NASA saying? Read this real quick. We ain't got to go into it, but NASA says something weird is happening in the universe. All right, which NASA, we know the Hebrew word means to deceive. It also means to lift. All right. So there's a lot of deception going on. There's a lot coming out. But we know the powers that be are shaken. How do we know that they're shaken? Because the signs that are happening on the planet Earth are leading towards them having but a short time to rule. All right, even here, Pentagon now reports about 400 UFO encounters, which we know is more. All right, and the reports they had were from like the 70s until now. We know it's been way more. All right, we want to know what's out there. All right, they're sending naked pictures out there. This man is the complete devil, man. Okay, but as you can see here, a significant increase from the 144 tracked in a major report released last year. 144 so-called UFOs were tracked last year. Okay, and you mean to tell me Yahweh Bashim Shai ain't putting these things out for us, all right, to see, to strengthen our faith? Absolutely, he is. All right, whether they're lying or whether they're not telling the full truth or just telling half the truth, because they're never going to tell you fully what they saw. Okay, because over at CERN, I believe in Switzerland, where your boy Klaus Schwab lives, where they're working all manner of wickedness, they get hit with all manner of signs, and it bugs them out. Okay, but we're living in a time where plagues are coming onto the earth, all right, in a major way. That's why there's a lot happening in the universe, in the skies, and the moon, the behavior of the people. It all leads and points towards what? Plagues coming onto the earth. Let's get that in the book of 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, in the 3rd verse. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent upon you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? You can't drive them away. As you can see, things are getting significantly worse. Okay, no matter how you want to live in an alternative reality, reality is eventually getting ready to hit our people. Okay, and they're going to be looking for answers. Okay, may any man drive away a hungry lion in the woods? Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun? Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Hell no. That lion is going to pursue your ass. All right. And that's how prophecy is. Prophecies are going to pursue you. They're not going to stop. All right. As the elder brother Bonsapa said, look, prophecy don't just sit there. These things that are written got to happen. Isaiah 55, the word of the Lord does not go out void. All these things are happening for the name of the Lord's sake, in that his people be glorified again in the earth. That his name be glorified in the earth, man, because this earth is void of light. All right. Why? Because of the rulership. The respect ain't being put on the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and the holy people. Okay. This is why all of this is happening. Okay. Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it have begun to burn? Nope. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? Nope. That's the missiles. All right. The mighty Lord, or a actual archer who's shooting the arrow, are you able to make that arrow turn around? No, that's these prophecies. The mighty Lord sendeth plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Okay, these plagues are not going to be driven away. Okay, so we finished with that. I don't want to go too much into that. Get that out of there. All right, 12 nightmarish economic trends that we should expect to see the second half of 2022, and we're here. All right, it's going to be a hot summer. Okay, and summer is coming on like what, June 21st, and things are already hot. It said if you thought that the economic news was crazy during the first half of 2022, just wait until we get to the second half.
What do you think we look like by November? We are in a very, very different world by the end of the summer. I pray that I am wrong about the timing. But if it doesn't happen this summer, it's going to happen because all of these things, the gas, it's not Putin's fault. This is a crisis they have been wanting to have. They want you to pay $10 a gallon for gasoline. They want the fleet to age out. Did you see? Americans are driving older cars than ever before. Our fleet is older than ever before in American history. What does that mean? Well, if you can't afford to buy a car in the next few years, once you can afford to buy a new car, you're going to buy an electric one. So that problem solves itself with gas because you'll only have a choice of electric soon. The war, we have been egging them on, and now we are beating the war drums like nobody's business. Food, we knew that was a problem. That's going to lead us to war, possibly. Migration, what are we doing at the border? All of these things are intentional. All of these things are... Did you vote for this? Did you vote for a dramatic transition, something that America is going to be so much better off for in the long run? Did you vote for this gas price? Because it's intentional.
All right. So many of the problems that we are experiencing now are going to continue to intensify. Ain't that what them scriptures just said? And Americans are becoming more pessimistic about economic conditions with each day passing. In fact, as you will see below, a whopping 85% of us believe that it is very likely or somewhat likely that the economy will go through a recession at some point during the next year. All right. Of course, the truth is that if we all have to suffer through, all we have to suffer is through a recession, we will be extremely fortunate, right? It's more than just a recession. All right. And let's look up the word recession. Okay. We've had many recessions. All right. And depressions. All right. But the food shortages and everything else that are going to be accompanied with it is going to make it what? Worse. And that's all synonymous with the day of the Lord. Let's look up the word recession. All right. It says our leaders have lost control of the economy, and many of us are extremely concerned about what is coming next. Babylon's going to be destroyed, Jack. It says a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced. All right. Economic decline, downturn, depression. All right. Slump, slowdown. Okay. And if you thought that 2020 to now, all right, your life changed, well, you just wait. All right. Things are getting ready to get significantly bad. That's what the prophets are here to tell you. The prophets ain't here to tell you nice things. Let's get that in Jeremiah 28. Okay. And Christians ain't talking about none of this stuff. You have a few. All right. But the mainstream Christians and guys like Vocab who, you know, all they doing is talking about the Israelite, they acting like none of this exists. And to their surprise, they're going to be through. Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. See, we're telling you war is coming. We're telling you evil, which is bad times, eve, time, ill, bad, and of pestilence. Okay? And what is pestilence? Let's look up the word pestilence real quick. Okay? And all of these things happen in ancient Egypt. Okay? A fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague. Okay? And now you have this gorilla thing. Okay? Which pretty much that's going to be the new juice you're going to have to put inside of you. All right? With the whole pox situation. All right, dealing with the monkey. See that? All of a sudden, it just popped up. And they're telling you it comes from, the homos and this and that. Okay, who knows? It could be a reaction, all right, to that damn thing other people took before that. That Biden taco sauce, man. Plague, bubonic plague, black death, disease, infection. This is what the prophets come to tell you is coming. Okay? And all of these things are synonymous with the day of the Lord. The prophet which prophesied of peace. All right? All of these preachers who've been telling you, you're going to get that car, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. God is love. Look at your neighbor. And your neighbor going to be after your ass looking for them canned goods. Okay? That you done saved up. When the lights go out and you got that generator on, okay, and they see light in your house, what you think they're going to do? These are the times that's coming, man. So the prophet that prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord have truly sent him. And as it says, what's that in Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter? And y'all about to know that the prophets were amongst you. All right? You all misused the prophets. Ezekiel 33 and 33. When this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. Okay? And you're going to know. All right? You're going to know. You're going to start to consider. All right? Because right now you still have social media. You still have the bread and circuses. You still have, all right, a way to escape reality. Well, those things are getting ready to be taken from you. Then what? All right? And the majority of the people don't have an extra bag to dig in. See, we do through the Holy Spirit. Okay? So these are the 12 nightmarish economic trends that we should expect to see during the second half of 2022. All right? For the deliverance of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? So there you go. It starts with gas prices will continue to surge higher, and many Americans will be shocked by how high they will eventually go. Now, gas prices going up, all right, may affect you and where you go, all right, but it actually, more importantly, affects the trucks, all right, that bring the food into these cities, okay, and everything's going to start to go up because in order to pay for the higher gas, who at the end of the day is going to take the brunt of that? The consumer. So things are going to go up. Things are going to get higher. Gas prices is just one thing, but that leads to what? More economic troubles. All right? More civil troubles. Okay? And it's going to cost more for things to get in your cities. Then you're going to have a lot of truckers go on strike or stop even driving and transporting altogether. All right. And that's what the elite want because the few companies that they have, because that's what it's all going to, when it's all said and done, where you get your food, how you get your food is going to go through a particular system ran by these corporations that are privately owned by these elites. Okay. And we already know, just like they're doing in Iran, okay, they can make it to where if you want cheaper food, you have to have an app. You have to have the particular digital ID, and we know where that can go. That's happening in Iran right now. Okay? If you can believe it, in Washington, at least one gas station has now reprogrammed their gas pumps to make room for double-digit pricing. Uh-oh. Okay? And it goes on for more. And we ain't got to read into all of this, but although not confirming that they are expecting prices to increase up to $10 or more. Imagine seeing $10 gas. Okay? And then property taxes are going up. Okay? Rent is going up. Okay? I'm talking about $300 increases out of nowhere. You're getting a letter. You live at a particular apartment, all right, or you may be renting a house or whatever. Your landlord is liable to hit you up saying that the because of this, because of that, this, you got to pay $300 extra. Okay? So the gas going up, the food's going up. Okay, rent's going up. What is that going to lead to? Homelessness, increase in crime. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can pull this article up I have. This is one. Meet a 34-year-old with $250,000 debt in student debt after 13 years of barely keeping up with her monthly interest payments. I never felt like I can get a handle on it. Okay? Hell, perplexity. The American dream is over. Okay? This is not the one I wanted, but the American dream has turned out to be a nightmare. As you've been taught, go to school, go to college, you get these loans, and you get out of college and you're in debt already. You start your so-called life out in debt. Okay? I'm a victim of that. The American dream is a nightmare, and when you're in these schools, you don't learn a goddamn thing. Most of the people who go and get these degrees, all right, the jobs you get have nothing to do with the degree you got. And degrees is just another piece of paper now. Okay? So this is through. Okay? Really what I should do is be able to get all that money back and give it to my true teachers, the apostles and elders, man, because that's the one when I really start learning is once the Holy Spirit opened me up and led me to those men. All right? You got people spending all of this money in these school programs and you ain't learning a goddamn thing. But this is the average American hurt through. Okay? Homelessness is on the rise. All right? All you have to do is just type in homelessness. Homelessness is on the rise. They now have tent cities. Okay? LA on the East Coast, the West Coast. All right? In the South is now the particular parts of the cities where it's just the village is tents. Okay? Of people who, so a lot of them are giving up on the system and just like, fuck it. A lot of them are getting evicted. Okay? These things are going to lead to what? Pestilence, crime, and hell. All right? Let's see if we can just. Yep, homelessness is on the rise. 12 days ago in Contra Costa County. That's in California, I believe. And California is absolutely expensive, man. It's too expensive. All right? Homeless people in the U.S. are being murdered at a horrific rate. As death of homeless people rise, L.A. to appoint new leader to tackle crisis. Ain't no new leader gonna tackle a goddamn thing. Okay, but this one as well. Homelessness at the gates of Disney. Disney was supposed to be like, a monument of prosperity here in America. Well, now homeless people are laying at the gates. You all right? You on a vacation? You got to hop over Mortimer and Randolph. Okay, and they ain't back. Okay, they ain't getting that bag of money from Hakeem this time. Okay, Hakeem is fleeing to his homeland to get the hell up out of America, keeping his money. All right, thousands. For those who saw Coming to America, it says thousands are living in motels, encampments, and even their cars in the shadow of the most magical place on earth, amid soaring rent prices and pandemic unemployment. All right, thousands of homeless people are estimating to be living in the shadow of Disney World, okay, and are falling on hard times, okay. Among them are locals as well as newcomers that moved to the Sunshine State believing their lives would improve and are dominated in an area dominated by Disney's wealth, only to find rocketing rent prices beyond their reach. Many have moved into the rundown motels lining the busy U.S. Route 192 through that runs past the direction of the theme park, while others are living in encampments in the woods or even in their cars. All right. Forklift operator DeMarco Jones, 40, moved into a room at the Paradise Inn with his 5 children and his girlfriend after being forced into debt and losing his Winter Park apartment when his hours for work hours were cut. Okay? Steve Rump, 50, says he lived in a motel before declining to move into his beat-up 2006 Lincoln Town Car, which he finds more comfortable stationed in the parking lot of Wawa. And we may be in some of these situations. All right? Some of us may have to go through things like this, man, but it's all right. Okay? The separation from Egypt, all right, and it never was prophesied to be easy, man. Okay, that's what the wilderness was for. It's sort of like the wilderness. It says Rump lives off of disability benefits, but said he has also resorted to a drastic way to make ends meet. I'm starting to sell my plasma. God damn. I get $800 a month for 4 donations. Damn. I hope I can keep going with that. Nigga, your ass is going to pass out. All right. Barbie, Austria, who runs a homeless outreach, estimates thousands live in temporary motel accommodation on the streets and in encampments within a few miles of Disney's gates. Pretty soon they're going to be right there. Through. Okay, and that's good for these wicked-ass people, man. Yep, 666 Disney. Damn. Oh, yeah. And it's only going to get worse. Let's go back to the article. All right, and that's also in the scriptures, too. We'll get Isaiah, the 19th chapter, in a minute. Okay, it says, number 2, we are being warned that there can be extended blackouts in some part of the nations during the summer months. Could you imagine blackouts in a place like this here in Texas, and it's hot as hell? Okay? We are being warned, and the elites have been telling you this is what they're going to do. Okay? Telling you it's going to be grid attacks and this and that. It's coming, man. It's inevitable. And how do we know it's coming? Because as this says here, 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, let's start at 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. See, these plagues must hit for us to be exodused out. And we're going to be exodused out this time by being beamed up into the ships. A miracle is coming. If you don't believe in miracles, you through. Because how the hell you going to get out of this situation? All right? Because it's coming. It's here. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, which is Yahweh Shai, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. I will smite Egypt with plagues as before. The final captivity, we will be brought into Egypt via slave ships. Okay? And that will be ran by the biblical Edomites. Their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Okay? So when you go back to ancient Egypt, this is Exodus 10, okay? And 21, darkness over the land. Okay? And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand towards heaven, and there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. It was so dark, they felt the darkness on their skin. That's how dark it was in Egypt. See that? And what do you think was happening at that? Crime, craziness. And Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness, all right, in all the land of Egypt 3 days. Okay, now imagine, all right, a month, 2 weeks, all right, in that Blackout series brother's been watching, all right, it was 13 days, I believe, And after the fourth day, crime it just started getting crazy. See? Judgment is going to be taking place during that time. Okay? But the Lord used Moses pretty much to speak these things forth. That's what the prophet is here to do, speak the end into existence. Okay? So there was darkness, okay? 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. Imagine 4 days. Imagine the water being cut off. You got to go outside and dig a hole to bury your dung. All right? But then your neighbor who was speaking to your ass runs out of food and water. He see a little light on in your house. All right? He pop up, all right, over there with a sword demanding, where's the generator at, mother? Hey, what's that? Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, man. Let's see here. Yep. Verse 15. As a matter of fact, he said he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. So that darkness is coming back. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague of punishment that the Lord shall bring upon it. And the foundation of this place, dealing with the buildings, the bridges, it received a grade D, I believe. Okay? That's the foundation of your, city is what the roads, everything's all messed up. Okay? Plagued. It says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail and fearful constellation. Basically, things are happening to where farming is being obsolete, crops are dying, okay? And a lot of it is being done by the wicked elite. It's being hijacked into themselves while they're telling farmers, you can't do this, you can't do that. You being put out of business, leading to what? Food shortages. Okay? As a matter of fact, we'll get to that in just a minute. Okay, we've been talking about this. The world has just hit 10 weeks worth of wheat left after Ukraine war. So in the future, things are going to get significantly worse. We're living in a time, all right, of the black horse, as Apostle Tahar said. Okay? India is talking about not being able to, they're not going to be exporting oil. So this is going to lead to what? Hard times in the earth, man. Okay? And that was May 20th when this was written. 10 weeks worth of wheat left. All right? And we know the elite hijacked everything else. Okay? And I believe Ukraine in that region is one of the number one exporters of wheat. Okay? The UN has been warned that the global wheat inventories has fallen to their lowest level since 2008 as food supplies are rocketed by a one-in-a-generation occurrence. Okay? Type in India oil. Okay, all of these things are happening. We here. Hey, call hello Yahweh Shemiah Shai. It got to happen. So, hey, let's see here. India palm oil imports could hit 11-year low. Soy oil. Let's see. That ain't what I'm looking for. Let's see. Edible oil. And you can look it up. I was looking at a video on it. Vegetable oil imports fall. We'll look that up later. I'll find the article or the video I was looking at that was speaking on it. But let's go back here. Um, yep, we are being warned that there could be extended blackouts in some parts of the nation during the summer months. It is being reported that in the middle of the country, all right, is particularly at risk. About 100 million Americans face power blackouts this summer as roasting weather, overstretched power plants, and unreliable green energy source combine to create a perfect storm of problems. And the elite are doing a lot of this. Okay? States stretching from the Great Lakes to the Pacific Ocean, which are homes to tens of millions of Americans, could have a hard time producing enough power to residents this summer. Okay? So blackouts, all right, in Egypt, okay? All of these things are happening, all right? But check this out. It says, and Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwelling. See, it was a miracle. All right, the elect are going to be taken care of, man. We may have to go through some straight things, but the Lord is never going to forsake us, man. Okay? Miracles are going to be worked. Okay? And Pharaoh was like, hell nah, man. Go serve your Lord. All right? And then his heart was hardened again, man. And that's the day of the Lord. Zephaniah 1:14. The great day of Yahweh is near. It is near. It hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh through the prophets. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. All you thugs. All right. All of these hardcore niggas. All of these hardcore Edomites. Okay. You're going to be crying bitterly. And I can't wait to see niggas, you know, these thugs, because all thugs and all of these gangs, they should take all of these niggas and pretty much put them on the front line of World War III, along with all of these hardcore independent women talking all of this shit. Put all of y'all asses on the front lines of World War III, and basically do your thing. All you did was cause and heap destruction, all right, your whole lives. Well, you should put your asses over there in the Middle East on the front lines of the war, okay, with no helmet. All right, and let's see, and get down for your crown. All right? I cannot wait to see niggas lose, man. But the mighty man shall cry there bitterly, these elites. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness from those missiles. All right, but it's going to be darkness associated with it as well when them lights go out. See? The day of a trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, man. And we're that trumpet. And I will bring distress upon men. They shall walk like blind men. They're going to be in darkness, nigga, losing your damn mind because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust and their flesh as dung. Okay, there's going to be chaos going on around you. All right, and a nigga may come try to break in where you at or whatever, and the Lord send a wild beast to attack his ass. Okay, man, all types of miracles are coming, man. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver him in the day of the Lord's wrath. Your money ain't going to matter. You ain't going to be able to buy your way out of Jacob's trouble. And those of you who have bunkers, you're just going to be there, okay, for the men of the Lord to come and get your ass and judge your ass. Purge it. If you're a rebel, we're going to purge you out. If you want an elite, you're going into captivity in that day when New Jerusalem comes down, because this earth is going to be in a destructive state. All right? So the Lord's wrath is coming to this place, man. Let's go back to this article So the blackouts, verse 3, not verse 3, number 3, everyone pretty much agrees that food prices will continue to rise. Of course, they will have already reached levels that are absolutely insane. All right? Oh, man. It says, take the calls of Just Golf, who co-founded 3 restaurants in Jackson, Mississippi. Shout out to the Mississippi brothers. Around 18 months ago, a 40 box pound of chicken wings cost him about $85. Now is as high as $150, which means the restaurant food is going to go up. And you can see when you go out to eat, which, now it's just cook at home, man. All right, you taking your woman out, stuff like that it's expensive as hell and it's nasty. Look, man, we go cook. Hey, man, you got to get with the times. All right, we can here and there may hit a little Elamite spot or something, but man, start cooking that stuff on your own, man. All right, or learning how to, but it's gonna be extremely high. Okay, and again, I've been telling you, brothers and you sisters, man, go to these Elamite stores. They had bulk herbs, a bunch of canned goods, because they set up these stores for their people. Big things of rice, all right? Because the Lord, we not trusting in, prepping and all of that. But hey, the Lord didn't. He gave you a brain to use, right? So if you know these things are coming, hey, you're not stupid to, maybe stock up on a few things, but your trust ain't there. All right, because you can stock up, and then when it goes down, you 30 miles away from your stuff. How you're gonna need the Lord anyway, but hey, the don't be stupid too, But at the end of the day, it's gonna be all the Lord's will. So no, you're not stupid and going and stocking up on a few things. But the best place to stock up is not Walmart. You don't go to Walmart to stock up. You want to go to the Elamite spots. Stop driving by them Elamite stores. Like, I'm not going to go in there, and you'll see you can get big things of herbs, big things of rice, and more things in bulk for cheap, as well as these African stores. All right. Some of them are actually ran by, Jakes from, Ghana, Nigeria, but a lot of them are actually Hamites. But you go in there, they got bulk things because it's for their people. And they're not expecting Jake to go up in there, but I go up in there. All right, and they be looking, and there's never no other Jake in there. In these stores, you're going to find heathen, man. All right? So, hey, don't sleep. I've seen the elder Muwatazak talked about it as well, but food prices are going to continue to rise. Okay, that's one of the things to look forward to. Verse 4, as our supply chains endure even more stress, shortages will continue to intensify, all right, the extreme baby formula shortage, all right, which ironically, right when there's a baby food shortage or formula shortage, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, and other billionaires invest in environmentally friendly artificial breast milk cultured from human mammary. What in the hell are they doing? And already a lot of these substitutes that Esau's putting out there for children to drink is causing them hell. A lot of them are dying. Okay? So pretty soon, none of the foods will be real. Nothing, everything will be, all right, through a system where it'll be artificially GMO, mystery meat, and all kinds of bugs and things like that. That's what they got planned for you. That's going to be the alternative. Okay, while they're starving your ass out. If you do want something, here, try this. The Gates. Here, try this. Give this to your child. You think these people, now you got to think, this is the man who I have highlighted. This is the man who for years complained that there were too many people. The earth is too many people, and we're going to do this to take away a lot of people. Now he's here with what he said he was going to use to take away a lot of people, and we're supposed to trust this nigga? Anyway, I just wanted to bring that out. We got to go too much into that. So food supply chains, all right, are gonna intensify. Okay, meaning you're gonna have shortages of food. What you have access to, all right, is gonna be higher, but they're going to ration out what you have access to, which leads us to the black horse. All right, Revelation chapter 6 and 5. And when he opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, lo, a black horse, which black is associated with dark times. All right. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances. With that word balances goes into a burden, slavery. And that's what the elites are trying to do. All right. Enslave every goddamn body. Okay. And these horses that follow, they're all following pretty much the red horse, okay, which is Esau Edom's rulership. And this is what he would bring to the earth. And we're at that point of the black horse, all right, that are going to use food as a weapon and the resources of the earth as a weapon to enslave the people. Okay? And I heard the voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see that thou hurt not the oil and the wine." All right, and we go into this all the time. A measure, okay, koinix, okay, a dry measure, and just to get to the point, as much as would support a man of moderate appetite for a day. So your food is going to be measured unto you, all right, because there's going to be a siege, which we're pretty much going through that now, okay, which is going to lead to food shortages, okay? It's not going to be any jobs, as we're going to read in that article. Food is going to be higher. You're not going to have access to things, and they're going to start creating systems to where if you want cheaper food, all right, you're going to have particular things, okay, which is going to lead to uproars and economic decay, hell. So as much as would support a man of moderate appetite, meaning you didn't eat a lot, okay? So your meal for a day, all right, is going to be for a penny, which ultimately is a denarion, which was devalued in Rome, all right, containing 10. All right, so pretty much a day's wages, okay, is going to be, all right, what you pretty much have access to as far as food, Salakia, I'm looking at this thing, as far as food, all right, it's going to cause you, as the money devalues, it's going to take more money to get less food, okay? A day of wages for one meal, pretty much. And that's just for a man of moderate appetite. What about your wife, your children? All right, your kids, then your neighbors. And that's going to lead to this. All right. Let's get to the point. Verse 14, second Ezra 15. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, because these Edomites are going to lose it. Okay? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay? There's going to be rebellion against the government. Okay, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because these troops are going to shut the streets off and tramping you in. Okay, doing all sorts of wickedness. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled and their houses destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and because of great tribulation. Okay. You're going to have a family who may have prepped, okay, and somebody in the city is going to get word, why these niggas ain't leaving? Who's in that house? Knock on your door, you don't answer, all right, hey, they go force themselves in, all right? Why? Because of lack of bread. Okay, the black horse leads to what? Lack of bread. All right. So a measure of wheat for a penny. I never looked up this word wheat. See what that says. A measure of wheat for a penny. Cetos, wheat, grain. Okay. Which, shit, we just read an article with a wheat. There's a shortage on wheat. Okay. And 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see that thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And the penny is denarian, which in ancient Rome, the denarian was devalued. So it took more to get less. And that's where we're at here in Babylon the Great. Hurt not the oil and the wine is the truth. See, and the black horse leads to what? The pale horse, all right, which is death and hell. Okay, and people are going to be killed with the sword and with hunger and with death. These are the times that we're leading into according to the Holy Scriptures. Okay, which ultimately leads to the end of Esau's world, man, and the return of the Lord. He's going to be working miracles during all of that time. That's why it says, hurt not the oil and wine. That's the elect who have the truth. All right. Esau ain't going to be able to destroy the truth, man. So we have supply chains crisis. All right. Which these trucks ain't going to be moving stuff because of the gas prices. Okay. You have food crisis, extreme hunger. This all lines up with what we're reading in prophecy, right? Okay. Widespread hunger, which will lead to civil unrest. We're in number 6. It's pretty much all of these go hand in hand. Food prices, supply chains, all right, and food crisis. Okay. More than 23 million, verse number 5, people are experiencing extreme hunger in Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya, according to new report. All right. And that's coming here to America. All right. The region's worst drought in 40 years is being exacerbated by conflict and pandemic. And the war in Ukraine has sent food prices soaring to record levels. And this is how you know Biden is a pawn used, okay, to bring forth these things, man. He's a puppet. The elite are doing this. Widespread hunger, which will lead to civil unrest. Okay, it's all coming. Okay, the federal verse 7, number 7. The Federal Reserve is likely to continue to aggressively raise interest rates. Okay, U.S. could feel some pain as the central bank raises rates to fight inflation, insisting the Fed will do whatever it takes to curb price growth. And you would think these devils would learn from what happened in Rome. All right, that's how you know this is Rome all over again, man. Okay? And that's going to lead to what? An economic shutdown. 8, higher interest rates will be devastating for the housing market in the United States. And that's very troubling news because home sales have already fallen. Home sales fell for the 3rd consecutive month in April as rising mortgages rates and affordability challenges pushed and many would-be home buyers out of the market. Okay? That house you've been, saying you're going to get, get a house. Hey, defaults are likely to continue. All right? Just like we saw before the last financial crisis. Consumers with low credit scores are falling behind on payments for car loans, personal loans, and credit cards, a sign that the healthiest consumer lending environment on record in the U.S. is coming to an end. Okay? It's all hell, man, at the end of the day. Okay? 10, the economy slows down. We should expect layoffs to increase, and jobless claims will eventually start to spike. Okay, In fact, we just learned that we have hit a 4-month high. Okay? The economy slows down, which means job loss. Okay, let's get Isaiah 19 real quick. Isaiah chapter 19. Okay, this is a message to Egypt, and this is the spiritual Egypt, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna just get to the point. Yep, verse Isaiah 19:4. The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and have caused Egypt to err in every work, as a drunken man staggereth in his own vomit. Okay, and when you look at what's happening here in America, everything is becoming like morally decrepit. Okay, woman comes out as objectum sexual and wants to marry her plane, who she named Dickie. This is amongst other folly that is being spread and perpetuated here throughout the Americas, man. Nothing but wickedness, man. U.S. based to host drag queens for children. Okay? This place is wicked, man. How does that help? And this is why America and its vassals are hated around the world. Oh, man. And people know. The 2 angels that visited Sodom killed all of the depraved children too. No one was spared. God's hate the same thing now, and he hated a million years ago. No, you're wrong on that, but you're right about everything else. And when you read, I'm a comment junkie. When you read comments, people are pissed off. Okay, how in the hell does this help? This is a drunken man staggered in his own vomit. A drag queen with all of the hell going on in the world. This is what America's doing. Okay? And they're doing this at an Air Force base in Germany. Okay? So they go throughout all of these places doing what? Wickedness, man. Oh, my goodness. Let's check this out.
With regard to food shortages,
surge in food costs, apocalyptic consequences.
The global food supply chain is failing. 10-week countdown, July 29th.
For a new world order, the food crisis that is looming across the world.
The nation deals with inflation and high food costs,
using that grain as a weapon by threatening to worsen current food shortages.
The specific date of July 29th is a date to look out for. The day it might be too late to prepare for what's coming. New documents reveal occult United States plans for apocalyptic scenarios, preparing for what's coming since the 1950s. The CDC Zombie Preparedness Guide, predictive programming of grid-down scenarios and zombie apocalypses, is in the mainstream consciousness. We all remember how the ill-prepared reacted savagely to the supply chain issues with food and toilet paper, leaving the elderly screwed. Just imagine when it comes to actual survival with food and water. What will the ill-prepared do? Why is Bill Gates purchasing massive amounts of farmland? Do you think his investments are showing us what's to come? Michael Burry investing into water after the 2008 recession, after predicting it? The mainstream media has been warming up the general public's subconscious mind through repetitive warnings of coming food shortages and supply chain issues consistently for months now. Experts in the commodities market have been warning us for much longer. Now, a very sophisticated woman, an expert on these situations, have warned the UN of a seismic event in 10 weeks of massive shortages of wheat to happen. Before we start, it's empowering to be self-sufficient and not a victim. And do not be dependent on big tyrants and big corporations for your livelihood. It is important not to react to these world scenarios that seem to be engineered, in my opinion. It is better to respond, not react. A simple way to prepare is get yourself.
Yeah, you could check out this video You see the name of the channel, you see the title, you just type it in, you can find it. But peanut butter recalled over fear of salmonella. Chickens are dying everywhere. Chicken flu, all of this. Shipping container shortage, chip shortage, food inflation. And the stuff he's selling is cheap. You can find that stuff cheaper. You know, of course, people gonna try to make their money. But yeah, it's getting fucking Edomites. It's getting bad. Let's go back here. Isaiah 19:14. The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his own vomit. The foundation, families are out of order, everything's out of order. Men are out of order, women are out of order, children are decrepit, depraved. It's just a bad culture, and it's led to what? Moral decay. That's Egypt staggereth in his own vomit. Okay? Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. All right? Jobs are going to be, obsolete. All right? And pretty soon they're going to be telling you these are the jobs you can work if you want to work, and this is what you have to have. This is your food measure. This is your it's coming. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women. And what are women? Faithless, scared. Okay? And it shall be afraid and fear. Because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord, which he shaketh over it. And the shaking of the hand of the Lord is synonymous with the prophets. Okay? Shaking the hand in ancient time meant you were getting on somebody. When you get Isaiah 13, the prophets are doing what? Getting on Babylon, out on the highways and the byways, telling you of your wickedness, man. So people are going to start to see those prophecies come to pass, and they're going to be afraid. And it's already happening. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid of himself. Now, on the left-hand side, you're going to have, all right, the 2/3 are going to rise up and lose their damn minds. Okay? And on the right-hand side, the Israelites. Okay? Because they're going to associate it with the black Hebrew Israelites. Okay? People are going to start to mention us more and more and more. And it's going to be made manifest that we were the ones, the prophets, speaking these things into existence. Okay? And they're going to be afraid because of the counsel of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, which he determined against Egypt, America. All right? To destroy this place for its wickedness, its idol worship, its enslavement of the chosen people of the Lord, and much more evil and wickedness. Things we can't even say. We don't even know that they got going on here in this place. Okay? So 10 said the economy slowed down, layoffs. We just read that. There's other prophecies as well. 11, needless to say, all of this bad economic news is going to be really bad for stock prices. Okay? We know that's going to crash. Many are warning of a recession, yada, yada, yada. All right, and he just keeps going. And you got Edomites that are ranting, mad at Biden. Okay, here it is, all of this hell going on in America. They sent $40 billion to Ukraine. They don't give a damn about y'all, man. But, that's that for that article. I mean, jobless claims surge. Let's see here. This was an interesting article where the FDA, all right, is making this big deal that now particular herbs or vitamins, all right, they have to meet particular requirements to be approved. So pretty soon they ain't going to allow all right, certain vitamins and herbs to be used, especially when, all right, the hater, okay, all right, with the falsify guy, when they take over, they'll be able to say which medicine is legal and what forms of healing are illegal. So keep a watch out on that as well. Went through that garbage right there. All this nastiness up in the place. Oh yeah, we'll get into that later. Just read these titles and we'll get up out of here. Blacklisted news. Trudeau wants a national freeze on handgun ownership. And that's why a lot of these false flags are being set up. All right, whether, people are actually dying or not, it's all being done on the left hand. This is the man of sin at play. Because when they roll, they don't want people to have particular weapons. And that's where the everyday Edomite's going to lose it. Okay? It says China elected to World Health Organization Executive Board with no objections. Oh, boy. Defeating the demons of Davos, all right, with the WEF. Behind the facade, abortion culture is a transhumanist death cult. Yeah, they present these things as if they're, but it's occultism and wickedness behind it all. Satanism, all right, the Molech-ism. Okay, let your village burn, racism, violence abound in Israeli nationalist Jerusalem march. Where's the peace? It's supposed to be peace over in that land. All right, and you can read that on your own. See what that says. Okay. You see that, right? Left is now political shorthand for corporate state technocracy. You could just go to, gene editing experiment increased aggression in hamsters. God damn, GMO babies for real. U.S. schools installing airport-style body scanners for weapons detection despite radiation exposure risks. Why was a retired FBI agent talking online with the Buffalo shooter? Why you think? Woman with pistol stops mass shooting in Charleston. There was a lot of mass shootings on Memorial Day. I think 11 of them. Davos elites warn painful global transition should not be resisted by nation states. World Economic Forum pushes facial recognition technology. Read that. And that's it, man. So, Lord willing, there was a lot of other scriptures I had, but the points were made. Lord willing, we'll be back with more. Shalom.